And on the beat, Narcan flow. Got my...
We outside. We outside with it. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. That Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. It's West for that bag and we outside. We outside. I got the world in the palm of my hand. One West sleeve stretch, do it live on the gram. Had a whole world viewing, click and subscribe. Had them niggas off the block, tell them shooters they want a job. I just put them on the payroll. When I get control them, I just mold them like they Play-Doh. Soldiers giving halos, trying to get up at them pesos. 40 cows send you out of space, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, leave you all boxed up, all cause my delivery. I be on that prime shit, take you time to get with me. Got me like Vladimir, treat you like the Ukraine. Raid your little city, now you boating like Usain. Scope costs more than the rifle, I got new aim. Fresh kick, spit with the blick, not my shoe game. Used to have a dirty 30 tied to a shoestring. Now I got that Ruger 5 and 7, that's my boot thing. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. That Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one West for that bag and we outside. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one West for that bag and we outside. We outside. I don't talk hardly, be there when you call me. Send them Philly clippers at your head like a baldy. Chopper get to rolling down your block like a Harley. No, this ain't a big hog, this the big dog.
In your city, swinging through the jungle like it's pitfall. In the water wading, marching to my cadence. Big bursts of thunder in my hands like I'm reading. Shitty Mortal Kombat sounds, but I ain't playing.
Look 'em in the eye before the war like a weigh-in. I'm up in the AM, politicking movements with that Draco from the vid because it's proven. Waiting on my brother how to bid, he ain't do shit. That's how life go. Win some, you lose. Seen a little nigga beat a big nigga out his shoes. Seen that nigga come back, pull up with a gun strap, rob everybody outside, told him run that. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. My Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. Here's one West for that bag and we outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. We outside, and we outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. We outside, yeah, we outside. There's one West on them corners and we outside. We outside with it.
Don't let them take you out, your spirit gotta stay focused. Can't go back living how I was, cause it's repulsive. I don't ask for much, this all I ever wanted. And not killing, die behind it, you can quote me. Yeah, these hoes for the streets, they ain't holy. I ain't pulling up, it's spiritual when devils kiss your boots. We ain't no cowards, please don't say what you gon' do. Or post something on the internet you think you gotta prove. Cause I got Karak Ice, I got Shia War, got Kasarpakai, I got Imawan, got Kabata Ban, I got Tazaba, got Kakamaima, got Karan Yala, got Yaragabar, Tribe of Issachar, bring out Gobble War. Couple young men in this bitch with an olive oil. If you ain't in these ranks, then you out of order. It's a time for everything right now, it's time for war. And I'm still the same nigga when I'm not recording. I pull up, shoot from half like I'm Michael Jordan. I don't think they fit to join the Lord's army. I survived a Christian church, moral of the story. I done beat so many demons, I got war stories. Garment look so hardcore, look like I morphed on him. Appetite for battle, yeah, I'm war hungry. I ain't choose this life, the Lord chose me. I'm a certified priest and I don't take that lightly. How I feel about this shit, yeah, I can't describe it. I know they mad at me, cause I can't trust the white man. I gird up my loins and did something mighty. Yeah, what's done in private, it's gon' come to light. Speak the truth into these bones and watch them come to life. All my friends are dead, let loose all the plagues, yeah.
Yeah. 144 to
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Rex get to it. Ain't taking no slack, get to it. You took a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Undisputed, I can prove it. Whoa, we can do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no cowards, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Ay.
I don't care what they talking. All I want is my Porsche. I'ma ride up clean. Look at me, I'm a false. Kill them off like a boss. Nigga, you better stop it. I'm all about my profit. I'm shooting off like a rocket.
Who about to blow these niggas out the water? He go harder, go harder. Steph Curry, fourth quarter. All I got is my niggas. All I fear is my father. All I bring is that slaughter. Bomb on the Pearl Harbor. He ain't real, he alive. If he real, who am I? Now his ass under fire. UPK till I die. Please don't cross the line. Try to stop and stop trying. Bomb shop is bomb wide. I'm on the grind. Let's get to it. Double time and believe. You ain't harming me, nigga. I brought a whole army of niggas. So I ain't move with precision. Follow every order given. Let's get to it. Make it on the race, get to it. Ain't taking no shit, get to it. You took a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Undisputed, I can prove it. One, we can do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no cows, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it.
You hear the truth that I'm speaking? Lot of hate for no reason. Probably don't understand. That's why I got the master plan. And all the power in my hand. And sling the shit on demand. You better watch where you stand. Just get flamed up and ain't changing up for nobody.
They're warfare, what you know about it? This ain't a rap, this a message. Ain't it will be respected. Fake niggas like a virus. Lot of niggas infected. I came to correct it. Bought a whole bunch of soldiers. They move at my discretion. When the rebels hit the entry, all them niggas hit the exit. Them niggas get to sprinting. I demand your attention. Solid nigga, I ain't folded. Plus you know a nigga hold it. Nigga, look how I'm rolling. Shorty check my demeanor. He smooth, but I'm cleaner. Flow like Aquafina. Hit him running Serafina. Yeah. I got a dilemma. I'm about to have a baby, but I still wanna baby. Let's get to it. Nothing comes to a dreamer. I'm strictly getting it. I'm all about the business. Rock solid and relentless. You came to make friends. I came to make a killing. That's why I'm gon' kill it. Leave these niggas hurting. Antoine Fisher, nigga. Do you need a healing? I know you can hear me. I'm a vet, you a rookie. And Kanye, you a Donald Trump loving pussy. I'm a king, you a cookie. Ain't nothing you can tell me. I'm too ready. Let's get to it, nigga.
If one may know that, what is it?
Purchase your tracks today.
Know the people been waiting for a minute for something authentic. Came in the truth and bossed in it. Made niggas regroup. Had to shed light on the false image. UPK whole court. Now who the fuck won scrimmage? 2 words for soft niggas. What is good riddance? Don't affiliate with feminine symptoms. I know you feel me, nigga. This a death threat to hip hop. You don't stop that weak shit, I'ma mix your lean with some grimlock. When the last time you heard it this raw? What I wish for's when the earth inherited by the piss poor. We been to war, them the ones I'm taking risks for. Ain't got no pics or no cars to hold. Holy angels watch my steps, them Glock guard my soul. Can't let them leave my body cold. I know you feel me, nigga, let the wicked weep and the meek prevail. God never been 50-50, I shall now awake and sleep a cell. Let the righteous cry, silence the pretender. A rebel without a cause, as long as I remember. Now taking the kingdom, the only thing on my agenda. Can't avoid me, nigga, middle finger to the ones that try to destroy me. Revenge of beauty, I'm a beast. I told the bitch she can't eat unless she join me for dinner. My God ain't got no regard for a sinner, one call for timber. I know you feel in the eyes of terror, I stand still. Go to work for the colony, bring it back to the anthill. Plus everything I drop, heavy as an anvil. Show you how to stand like a man in this damn field. I know you feel me, nigga. Fuck equality, it gotta be one man win and the rest lose. Devastating, I'm calculating my next move. UPK with real niggas seek refuge. Body shots for pause, that'll get you bruised. My niggas whole ranker, check your little attitude. I came to fuck up your move on your little holiday like I'm Mr. Scrooge. Resurrected from the grave, walking from the fall. Visions in my eyes, gripping the mic. Screaming, God bless the underdog, down by the letter. And live by that protocol, walk by faith, not by sight. Ain't no hope for getting struggles. Life like some war resist, or get pulled into a world that never left you. I will endure, election will be sure, correction will be swift. No Will Smith, but I am legend. What else would you call the killer of deception? A leader got soldiers on post in every direction. On gold like a German shepherd, young and a restless, wear honor like a diamond necklace. I know you feel me, nigga.
Purchase your tracks today.
If Rome ain't know that, what is it?
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, busy man shit, nigga. They take their head over, nigga. I read where Eve didn't Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samus, and I can't let no holder lie to me. I feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Nigga think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert. Another cop just stressed and here, demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. When they spin, I ain't listening. Is in fact the fear. If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jack. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers and should've never kidnapped my family. I can't just do damage, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claim a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit light. It ain't about who got this gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain frame. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him. So you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga.
feel, I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play, cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cock slave shit. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Paint crack Nate image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say you hate African soul niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, you prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the my nigga, we living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lies sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of war. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't me murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game. Put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose by the Lord, we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wasn't with us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be truthful. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead. First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. Came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? man, busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and their head with that shit.
Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dawg. So I brought these chimney sweepers. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like you running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine then. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dawg? Guns and butter, baby boy. UPK top, dawg. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that econ line van to a damn tank. I got chopper stash in that attic like they ain't right. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a made, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. Say they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real.
It's easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that is not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, now it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They ring got the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe. Connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this, nigga, I eat bars and drink flows. Thinking you woke into your third eye, a peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game, these niggas lame. State bring a shame, if I'm officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, you want the easy path. Shit, I've been through the fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him runner, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Laughing these niggas once again, and I ain't break a sweat. Number one at everything I do, that's why I'm one West.
Lord is not God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick, I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I'll switch. If I touch it, it's diamond. Tell a bitch that I'm God sent. It ain't because my kicks is built like 5'6", 5'7" is my bitch. Dangerous, high risk, I lose it, get another one. You think I'm talking about a girl, I'm talking about another gun. We here now? Hey look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas, we burn the crib now. I'm ahead now, and I hope they can hear now. I don't care if you think it's it, nigga, I don't fear clowns. Silences make it sound like raindrop, that's a quiet storm. Get the job done in the view and get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you put real with real, that's how I was born. Walk in this bitch ready for war, I'm in riot form. I want these niggas to see me flex, that's why I am armed. And live in the crib, nigga. I should buy a farm to go through this shit so effortless. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
Hey, yo, Habana.
Hey, y'all, what's up, Adawan?
Yo, you know we got to do it again.
Damn right.
They're killing us in these streets, you know?
Yeah, man, this shit crazy.
Let's ride.
Let's get it.
My heart goes out to all of my brothers who've been shot by the cops, can't trust the undercovers. Cold-blooded the way they did Demetrius Stanley. Shot him in front of his own home with his family. Innocent black man killed once again. To the hands of these crooked cops, they ain't your friend. Hunters down, they bloodthirsty men. Gunners down, walk free and they win.
They killing us like George Floyd. Put a knee to your neck while they hold you down. You can't run, they'll gun you down if you drive away like Andrew Brown. Same way they did Matthew Williams. He had a knife, but they ain't have to kill him. Lied on him, say he lunged at him. He tried to flee, they shot their guns at him.
It ain't gotta be nighttime, it can be broad daylight. Get out your car, try to get back in, they'll kill you like Dante Wright. If you think cops like us, they don't, they hate us with all they might. When they pull you over, guns drawn, finger on trigger, they don't play fight.
Nah, they don't play right, they don't give a fuck about witnesses. Gotta really show them what the business is, why they out here is, and we see what it really is. Got me losing my appetite, man, the bitches harassing you at the light. You gon' die, then it's fight or flight. That's what happened to Rodney Applewhite.
Tired of these cops killing us. Every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. When you turn on the news, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. In broad daylight, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. They killing us. They killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. Every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. When you turn on the news, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. In broad daylight, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. They killing us. They killing us.
Never will understand. We living in fear. We kill every day because they got the upper hand. They done murdered another man. Yeah, his name Joshua Feast. In his body, he lay in the streets. It's the belly of the beast. That's why we say fuck the police. Fuck 'em.
Crooked cops stay stalking. Kurt Reinhold murdered for jaywalking. Damn. Pull me while I hand you my gun license. I ain't doing no talking. Justice for McHale Rose, murdered by police at 19 years old. They said he had burglarized some place, but that was a lie. Let the story be told.
They live by it, they gon' die by it. Understand what I really mean. Shoot a nigga while he handcuffed in a seatbelt that was really green. Patiently waiting for the Lord's vengeance. In the UPK, we got the illest team. All devils, they must die. Cut their heads off with a guillotine.
Right. AJ Crones and Sincere Pierce, y'all gon' learn what y'all. That's right. The cops massacred these two young brothers and shot at they car. These devils can't help us, it's one solution, let's not pretend. We begin to police our own neighborhood, we must defend and bring these homicides to an end. Tired of these cops killing us, every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, when you turn on the news they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, in broad daylight they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us, they killing us. They killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. Every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. We'll turn on the news, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. In broad daylight, they killing us. To these cops killing us, they killing us, they kill us. Tired of these cops killing us. Every day of the year they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. When you turn on the news, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. In broad daylight, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. They killing us. They killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. Every day of the year, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. When you turn on the news, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. In broad daylight, they killing us. Tired of these cops killing us. They killing us. They killing us.
What do you want?
I want a job that I don't hate. I want to do something that matters.
Fuck, man. No cover, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. Come back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No cover, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. Come back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, you niggas know I'm about to bring the heat, right? Shit, I delete the street light. Now I still keep the heat tight. Now nigga on gold like a green light. They say one, you can get it. Ain't gotta tell me twice. Tryna stack a couple grand, get on some land, that'll put us on our feet. I'm in the field with the Warriors. And you know a nigga glorious, but we still keep it G though. Keep them tools Home Depot. Might hit him with the Rico. Hey, hit the nigga with the Rico. Hey, say they fucked up the rap game. What you looking at me for? So I know they can't stand me. That's why I keep a Glock handy. Might sip a little brandy. While I'm chillin' with the family. Tell him a real nigga landed. Dressing all black like a bandit. Bitch, I ain't come to play. Bitch, I came to do damage. No cover, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No cover, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. Back, now we ballin'. Ain't Babylon fallin'. You know the path a nigga walk. Nigga raised up, now I'm all in. And all I ever wanted was the win in the big body Benz. Now I'm gone in the wind, tryna stack a couple in. Now let's get it in, yeah, let's get it in. About to make the shit tremble. 144, the rebel. About to turn it up a level. Heat the bitch up like lava. And it probably bring a whole mob. And all that we fear is our fall. And I'm headed for the top dollars. And ain't none gon' stop me. None gon' stop. No cover, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No cover, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know.
different, man. I'ma show them the difference.
I'ma show them it's a difference. I'ma only say that you better listen. When West is where it started, so you know that's where it finished. We got one main objective, nigga, let's complete the mission. We explaining what the who, lead them bitches and they feelin'. Snub on me, only time I put my nose inside your business. I don't want my gun to show, so I wear my shirt bigger. This is our world, cause if this was your world, I'd be the villain. Break his whole block down, all I gotta do is finish. Stuffing Mac shell jumps, turn your crib to Sunday dinner. You don't live here, you visit, this my shit, it's a difference. I don't do lean, Lobos in my cup is what I'm sipping. I don't do dreams. I say a prayer, go and get it. And it all work out. You know this ain't for play, this ain't for fun. I've been destined for this shit. Niggas know that I'm the one. This shit can go 100 yards. You would think I kicked a punt. You would think I had flare gun on go. You niggas run. They like he an Israelite. All he rap about is guns. Bitch, I'm an Israelite that own a lot of guns. What that nigga said, who? Tell him watch the grind. Yeah, you must be crazy if you ever think of stopping mine. Knock all of the chains out you niggas, make them drop a dime. This tourist hold 12, it is not a zodiac sign. Piss me off, get me in my bag, make me drop a bomb. Drop a nuke, make the world freeze, I can stop the time. Watch what you do, cause once you do it, you can't press rewind. On purpose, I do the opposite, so nigga cross the line. This is different, I ain't looking for trouble, but on point case you think I rap. Turn him to a vegetable, lead this nigga cabbage patch. No new niggas with me, if you see it, then they got my back. Got it out the mud, big stepping, you can see the tracks, follow me. I could teach you something, have her see. Relax, if you gon' speak on anything, just make sure it's fact. It's a difference, we are not the same, help them notice that. Pay attention, watch how we move, we can know that. Hang around all real niggas and we move as one. This ain't Fortnite, get into it, ain't no 1v1. The smoke I bring to you, you can't take it in with your lung. Life about warfare, we just make it look fun. She asked what kind of oil I got on, I told her give them some. What's the only real niggas left? You better get you one. Chicken shop, giving out wings if I pull a drum. It's a difference, you better watch your words before you eat your tongue. Scrape the whole plate, not a trace nor leave a crumb. Ice falling off the watching chain like it's freezer burn. Daring somebody to say my name, I would eat to him. WT means everything, so I don't eat with them.
Alright, mic check. Let's see. Oh, what you looking like? Alright, Shalom's room with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Alright, you know what I'm saying? Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible. It's the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and give it up. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class. And where we get into our culture, our language that was stolen from us, you know what I'm saying? We break down where we get into the meanings of words and all of that, you know what I'm saying, from the language, from the linguistic perspective. All right, so if you got any questions, go ahead, put it in the chat. Any questions, comments, or whatever the case is, put it in the chat. Any Lashawan Qadash related questions, or anything like that, just go ahead, put it in the chat. We'll get right into it. Now's the opportunity for you to get your Lashawan Qadash related questions answered. So, So last week, you know what I'm saying, we went over about, I think it was like 17 of the of the 100 most commonly used verbs in the scriptures. All right, so we went over quite a few of them. We didn't get to all of them. And you know what I'm saying, for the past couple of weeks, we've been going over you know what I'm saying, who, what, when, where, why. We did a little review on the pictographs and their meanings, what they represent, as far as the Hebrew words associated with those pictographs. We reviewed that. What else? But based on that, you know what I'm saying, I gave a little homework, you know what I'm saying, as we've been doing the past couple classes. So I challenge brothers and sisters to, you know what I'm saying, based on our notes, based on what we already have in our notes, what we already learned in past classes, to try to form some sentences like we've been doing, right? So you could use, you got all the tools, right? So you got who, what, when, where, why, that we've been reviewing and reviewing. We went over the what's it called, the pictographs. So you got that to be able to practice with. The most commonly used verbs that you could use. We went over a couple nouns in past classes. Numbers. What else? Body parts. I think we touched on a little bit. So anything that we used or anything that we learned in the past, words that we use from breaking down the Lord's Prayer, the Hakat, you know what I'm saying, things that we say in every at the end of like Sabbath service and feast days and things like that. You got all those tools, right, in your notes. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, brothers and sisters have been able to take clear, concise notes, you know what I'm saying, throughout all classes. You know what I'm saying? You should have your learning tools with you, notebook, pen and paper, at least, you know what I'm saying? Of course, your sword, your apocryphal, 1611, King James version of the Bible, the biblical, the what's it called? The strong concordance of the Bible with the Hebrew to English dictionary. Whether you got them together or separate, you should have those at least so that you can navigate your way and follow along through class. All right. So make sure you got your learning utensils, and we gonna if you do, you know what I'm saying, if you was able to, you know what I'm saying, get some practice in with forming sentences. Let's you can go put up in the chat, you know what I'm saying, just raise your hand. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what we was able to come up with. All right. And then, you know, after every class, you know what I'm saying, I'm just saying at the beginning, you should definitely just, after you learn something, just practice it. Practice. All right. So that's going to help with retention and being able to speak it, you know what I'm saying, verbally, being able to understand it. It's going to help you retain the words that we learn just by practicing it. So that's what we're going to do. So if you've been practicing at home, go ahead and put it up in the chat. Right now in class, we're going to get into, we're going to do a little practice with like sentence formation based on what we've been going over the past couple classes. All right. So I'm going to just throw some sentences out there, and we're going to talk about how to form a sentence, basically, in a nutshell. All right. So, and what's going to help us out is like I said, like the note taking. All right. So like, just like brothers got like a preset book, you know what I'm saying? You got your notebook where you take notes, but then you have a preset book. You know what I'm saying? Where you got breakdowns and you got scriptures that's pertaining to a particular topic, and you got it all organized so that, you know what I'm saying, Lord willing, you got it organized so where you can retain and reference information for camp and class, and, you know what I'm saying, just general breakdowns. Just like you got a preset book, you should, I advise brothers and sisters to have like a what's the word? Like a kind of a, I don't want to say preset book for the Lashawan Qadash, but it's going to be similar. Like basically somewhere where you just keep a list of words, you know what I'm saying? just like the list of words that pertain to a particular topic, like okay, like his body parts, like we did last week, 100 most common nouns, most common verbs, words that come out of the root words that come out of Lord's Prayer, root words that come out of Hakat, the power, root words that come out of Psalm 83, things like that. You know what I'm saying? It would be helpful to just keep a running list that you could reference on shorthand, right? And then more in-depth breakdowns in a, I guess a separate notebook. But that's my suggestion, right? And I'm saying it, and we're gonna find out why I'm saying that, right? So I'm gonna just throw, a sentence out there, and it's gonna contain a lot of the words that we used, right? So when you're building a sentence, you want to start with kind of identifying what you already know and understand. So like, just like you learn in any language, you might fumble through it at first, but it's just gonna, like I said, take practice. So like, okay, so I got right here, for example. So we're gonna try with this. And when we first started, we started with like some smaller sentences, like called definite articles, I guess, where you like, okay, how do you say hand? Okay, yad. How do you say the hand? Ha yad, using the preposition. Ha meaning the, hand meaning yad, or yad meaning hand, right? And then, and the hand, all right? Waha yad. And the hands, plural, waha yad yum, right? So we started off something like that, started with them small building blocks, and then, expounded from there. So we're going to get a little bit deeper tonight, right? So we're going to try to build a little larger sentences and phrases, that we can use with one another. So we got who is I can't spell. So who is watching all right? So we got who is watching the doors, right? So, and this is something that we could use with one another, especially if you're part of the Shamar team, if you do that regularly. So you can, have a, be secure on, so you could be secure in certain that the school is being protected efficiently and in decency and order, right? So this is something that you could, the head of Shamar, you would ask, or you would ask the head of Shamar, like, okay, who is watching the door? What is basically you're asking what your assignment is, all right? Like we got a couple brothers on the Shamar team. You ask the head of Shamar, like, okay, who's watching the doors? Am I watching the door? Where you want me at? You know what I'm saying? Like we trying to figure out how we're going to organize things, right? So this is something that we can use in practical usage with one another, right? Or on the comms, right? You know what I'm saying? We'll use the walkies, right? So who is watching the doors, right? So what you want to do off top when you look at a sentence, or like when you're trying to because most of this, like, okay, like when you're trying to communicate with one another in another language, you'll think about, if you're not fluent off the, offhand, you'll think about it. What we're about to do tonight, you'll do this in your head, all right? So you'll think about what you want to say in English, like, okay, who is watching the doors? Okay, and then you'll translate it in your head, and then it'll come out in a different language. And then you do that enough times, and then you'll start to retain it. But you're not going to retain it if you're not practicing. So that's what we're doing tonight. Okay. So off top, what you want to do is just think about what you know, all right? So you got these three words right here, like Well, I ain't go. Okay, so what do we know? Like, okay, so if you in the chat, go ahead, put you know what I'm saying, whatever you know about this sentence. What words do you know off top, right? And we're gonna work through it. So go ahead, please.
All right, so I know who is Maya, Maya, like.
Right, so you got who is Maya,
Yeah, Maya.
and then you got
Shamar one. Will it be Shamar one or we'll watch it?
close. Okay. But okay, so what is watch?
Shamar.
Right? So now we're saying, so we got watch, right? We know Shamar is watch. Right? So how do you apply the ing?
One? No? Shamar.
Let me think. I can't think of no example right off top. But okay, so we gonna come right back to that because I don't want to. Well, actually, no, we can address it right now. So what you would do would be what you would do would be just to add a y, and that's probably why you said Shamar one.
Right.
But you put that y in the middle of or after the second, or after usually either first or second character.
Okay.
So in this particular case, you'll say when you're trying to turn watch into watching, Shamar will become Sha Wamar.
Okay.
All right. So typically, in most cases that I've seen, it's usually after the second character. But in a lot of cases, also it could be after the first character. That's just something to keep in mind. But we know Shawamar means watching because of General Anya Shawamar, whose name means I am watching. Right? So Anya means I or I am, and then Shawamar means watching. Right?
Okay.
So we're just taking what we know, right, and then compounding. So we got watch, Shamar, and then to make it ing, Walmart, right? So last part we got this part, right? So doors. So the doors. So that's what we're trying to figure out. All right, I see you, sis. You close, but okay. So the sister said Maya Shawamar Dalath, right?
Right.
Which is, door, right? So we got door Dalath, right?
Missing something?
Yes, we are missing something. So we got to make it a definite article. So we got the word door. How do we? Okay, so we could break it out one step at a time. So how would you say the door? Right.
The lock.
Let me see.
Huh?
Yeah. So like you gave the answer. I think you
Yeah, I say hi the lock.
right?
That's the door.
Right? So to say the door, so sis is correct. The lock for door, but to say the door, you would say ha the lock. Right? And then so now we got Maya Shawamar Hadala, who is watching the door. So like for example, like usually if you're in like a small enclosed area on a from a Shamar perspective, right? You got you might have one door that you got to secure. So like, all right, you got one brother on the door, and then you know what I'm saying, that's it. No, nothing comes in and out. The only thing that's gonna come in and out, whether it's a threat or a brother, you know, or a sister, the only breach, only potential breach is that one door. So now we got, but if you're at a, you know what I'm saying, you're doing Shamar for a large group, like you know what I'm saying, maybe you at like a venue or a club or a, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case is, you might have several different doors. So how do you pluralize door? All right.
The Lafium.
You're right. The la. You got ha the la yum. All right. So that's how you work through that. All right, Salaki. You know what I'm saying? You just take what you already know. So we've been going over who, what, when, where, why, right? And we've been practicing over the past couple of weeks. So you should know off the top of your head, or if you don't know off the top of your head, you should have a page of notes. And if you've been, you know what I'm saying, follow instructions with the homework, you'll have a page of where you was practicing using who, what, when, where, why. Maya, ma, atay, maya, ma, mafaya, aya, and madawai, right? So this should just be something that we've retained by now. So that's the whole purpose of the practice and the homework, right? So you got Maya Shawamar Hadalafium. Who is watching the door, right? And that's going to just us being able to speak our own language is going to make, you know what I'm saying, it's going to make brotherhood better. It's going to make security better. It's going to make, you know what I'm saying, it's just going to make our culture just all the way around better, because we don't have to worry about somebody from another nation being a breach. You know what I'm saying, tapping airwaves and phone calls and standing just in proximity, just hearing your conversation. Because they don't know what the hell this Lashawan Qadash is. Even the fake Jewish man who is not the Jew, they don't even know the damn Lashawan Qadash. They speak Yiddish. So you say Maya Shawamar Hadalapium, they gonna be like, what the hell? They gonna be, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be able to be a breach. Like, just like I forget what war it was, but like the Americans used in the I think it was not the Civil War, what the hell was that? The Cold War, during the what, you know what I'm talking about, with the Russians. But basically they used the Native Americans language, you know what I'm saying, that they had spoke at the time, to be able to communicate over the airwaves without their enemy being able to understand, right? Because they had war, right? So they're able to like tap through calls and infiltrate and send spies to, you know what I'm saying, try to infiltrate our security, right? But they were speaking another tongue that they didn't understand. But this is our tongue that they will never have the spirit to be able to decipher and understand. And you can see that with the fake Jew. You got Maya Shawamar Hadalafium, right? We're gonna throw another one out there. And if you got any online, you know what I'm saying, or in class, if you got any sentences that you want to, if you got anything that you want to bring out, or you want to try to form a sentence based on, you know what I'm saying, what we already know, or you can use the tools to try to find out something new, you know what I'm saying, feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat. And we're gonna keep on keep on practicing. So you got Maya Shawamor the Laf Young. Right? And remember, as you copying this down, as you practicing in the Assyrian Hebrew, right? Just keep in mind that a ma coming at the beginning of or the middle, the beginning or the middle of a word is going to be different than coming at the end. And this is a perfect example. So you got an example of a ma coming at the beginning of a word in maya. And then you got shawamar. You got an example of ma coming in the middle of a word. And then dalaf yum. All right. That's a perfect example. But just, I know I keep on repeating it, but it's something that we need to be able to retain and recognize offhand or off the top of our heads, right? So if it's not something that you, especially like just reading through, like when you're reading the Hebrew, and in the next couple classes we might practice reading the Hebrew also, so that we can recognize how sentences is formed and words is formed using prepositions, possessives, things like that. All right, so. But that's just an example, right? And it's just something that we should be able to try to train our eyes to be able to see so that we can expound on our knowledge, right? Now we got, let me think. I just had one. Let me see. I just have one. Mm-hmm. All right. So this is gonna be a little bit more. You have to do a little bit more deciphering with this one, right? Shouldn't it? But don't overthink it. It's just like how we've been doing it from the beginning, just using what you know, right? Off the top of your head, right? Using what you know and applying it. And whatever you don't know, then you can just search it, right? So you got off top, right? So you got, let me see. You want to give it a shot? Are you?
Oh, tomorrow.
Are you 12? Okay, most time correct. So you got, okay, off top, right? So you got, we've been practicing who, what, when, where, why. So that should be something that you should know off top. We just went over walk last week, right? So if you took notes last week, just revisit your notes, or you can look into the Hebrew dictionary or whatever you got to do. And then house. All right, it's something that we went over. We've been going over for, you know what I'm saying? We went over, was it last week, or, you know what I'm saying, the past couple of weeks, we went over the pictographs, right? So it's something that we also should have in our notes. All right. So you just put all that together, and now you got a sentence. That's how you build your vocabulary, right? You learn certain things, like, okay, how you say you, well, okay, so you try to, that's why I say it's good to take good, concise notes, because, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to just, I mean, it's good to just, like, if you're wondering how to say a word, you know what I'm saying, it's good to look up that word in the dictionary and try to figure it out. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Baba Kashaf, by all means, do that. But when you do that, it's good to have some structure with how you're learning and teaching yourself too, right? So something that's good to do is try to find, and this is something that you could do on your own, but you know what I'm saying, when a brother, just like when a brother teaches a class, for a brotherhood class, law class, scripture breakdown class, or whatever the case is, it's usually a subject matter that he's dealing with. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying, Christ and the Most High and the angels and the prophets are black, right? So you're dealing with that subject matter. So you go to, you know what I'm saying, specific portions of the Bible. Like, okay, well, Jeremiah 14:2 says this. Daniel 7:9 says this about Christ. You know what I'm saying? Revelation 1:13 says this about the color of Christ. Solomon 1:5 says this about Solomon's skin complexion. So you deal with a specific subject matter. So when you're dealing with the Lashawan Qadash, it's good to do that with that too. So instead of, you could, again, there's nothing wrong with just looking up words, you know what I'm saying, when they come up to your mind, you know what I'm saying? But instead of just looking up words haphazardly, and just like, what you could do is be like, okay, I want to learn like we did the body parts, right? Okay, how do you say hand? How do you say foot? How do you say nose? How do you say eyes? How do you say head? How do you say hair? And then you deal with that subject matter, and that'll help you take more clear and concise notes. We dealt with the numbers. How do I say the numbers? So you go through all the numbers from 1 through 100, like we did a couple months ago, and then you expound on that. Like, okay, now we got ordinal numbers. Like, how do you say, instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how do you say first, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? So it's just a, you know what I'm saying, just a little, how you just take clear and concise notes. What you got, Priest?
Yeah, I had missed last class. I don't know how to say walking.
Oh, okay, no sweat.
I think I got the rest.
Okay, so give me what you got, and then since you missed last class, we're gonna walk through it. All right. So what you got?
Okay, I got Madawad. Okay, Madawad.
Meaning
why.
Right.
So that's taking Y and R right together, cause
right, because the R is implied.
Right. So I would have to know what walking is to do the U, right?
Well, okay. So you know the U. Do you know the U part?
Damn, I don't know.
Okay, no sweat. So we'll come back to that part.
Okay. You.
Now we on.
Okay.
In my house, right?
So is it Hold on. In my house.
And so first, what's house?
But yeah.
Right. So you got by yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it would be by Yaka.
In my house.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
So the suffix or the not suffix, the possessive, which comes at the end, it would be or at the end.
At the end. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. It. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know you know it, Priest.
Yeah.
So you got yeah.
I get those two confused with the ya.
Yeah.
Ka.
I feel you.
Yeah.
So we got now it's like now instead of saying just house, we're making it a definite article. Now we're being specific. What house? My house. Right?
Okay.
So and like you already said earlier for in, right?
Yeah,
right.
ba.
So how do you say in my house?
In my house.
Yeah.
Ba Yahya.
Right, damn right. Ba Yahya.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And before we get to the walking part, right? I want to just talk about this because this is something that we need to learn how to do also with like sight reading, like reading the Hebrew, right? Because it's not gonna be written like this, right? It's gonna be written like this. Right? And if you've never seen this word before, you might have a tough time distinguishing or like figuring out how to pronounce it. Because I know like when you first looking at the Hebrew, you just kind of pronounce, after you learn the alphabet, when you're reading on Sabbath service or during like feast day services and all of that, you just kind of like read the characters individually, like ba, ya. And you don't know how to connect words or like how to, you know what I'm saying, how to connect sounds, right? Or, you know what I'm saying, as you learn and you start to see a pattern, like when you see a word, you're like, okay, the last characters are usually connected. You might inappropriately connect something. So you might be like ba, ya, ya. You might get stuck here like, okay, how do I connect the th and the ya? You trying to say thigh or some, you know what I'm saying? You might make a mistake like that, right? But what will make it easier, you know what I'm saying, just a little review, is to identify the root word like we did just now. Okay, house is bayat. And this is where having that vocabulary built up or being able to recognize certain root words comes in, right? So you might just recognize the root word off top. Okay, bayat is house. Okay, so I know that this is talking about a house. And then you see what's in front. So once you start to practice a little more, you might, or if you don't know this root word bayat off top, because that's what's gonna happen most of the time when you're reading the scriptures in the Lashawan Qadash, you might see a word that you don't recognize or you don't understand off top, but you do recognize prefixes and suffixes, right? Possessives and prepositions, right? So you do recognize those, right? So you'll pause like ba, and then you'll work through this word right here, right? And then you know off top, words are usually built off of 2 or 3 characters. So if you see a cluster of 5, like so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters, 9 times out of 10, you got either 2 prefixes or a suffix at the end, or you got a prefix and you got a possessive and a preposition on either side. So that's just something that you'll think about as you're reading through the scriptures in the Lashawan Qadash. All right, so you got ba, ya, in my house, right? So now we got madawad ba yakya. So we got why in my house, right? So it's two things that you might see in the scriptures, right? Two things you might see. So you got, let me see. So, okay, so we're going to start with walking, right? And then we're going to build around, or walk, right? Or walk. So when you're, let me see. See if we got it up here. Oh, here we go. So you familiar with this book, right?
Yeah.
And you got any apps on your phone to be able to like, so you can either use that book, the Strong Concordance with the dictionary, or you can use the phone.
Okay.
So whatever resource that you, but you would so what you doing right now?
I'm gonna use this one because I used it last time.
Right. So how you gonna use it? Just like walk me through it so the whoever's online, yeah.
So basically, when I go through, I look for the word walk.
Right in the concordance.
In the concordance. Strong,
right.
Yeah, strong concordance, the Bible.
Right.
All right. So I'm looking for the word walk. It's too far. All right.
Let me see. Let me follow you there too. I think I follow you. You got the word walk. Right. Right. Walk. And then you got. Let me see. Let me catch up with you, Salaki. All right. So what you got, priest?
All right, so I'm at the word walk. Then I look at the concordance and how many is showing. The most concordance showing, that's one I use.
Right. What's gonna be I would say that's the one that you check out first.
Okay, that's one I'm check out first.
Yeah, because sometimes you might come across. A lot of times you might come across a concordance or a word that just has a whole bunch of concordance codes. It's not really one that has the most.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so this one has, the one I'm seeing the most is H3212.
Right.
So that's what I go to look for. That's one I see the most that's popping up.
That's the one that's popping up.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking for walking, slot. I'm looking for walking or walk?
No, walk.
Okay, yeah. So the most I see is H3212.
All right. Is there another one that you're seeing equally as much?
I see it's almost it's only so and the other one is H1980.
All right. So okay, this is what you could do. Go to 323212 because that's the one that you said you saw most of, right?
Okay.
So go to that one and then you could go ahead and read that one. And it's gonna give you a little bit more context on that word or that concordance code.
This one says a primitive foot to walk, literally or figuratively.
Does it say
It says again, away, bear, bring, carry away, come away.
does it give any slack you? Does it give you any like reference concordance codes?
Lie.
No.
Lie. It just got the Assyrian.
Okay.
Next to it.
Okay, and what's the word?
Is Yala. Yala.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of the ones that change at the end.
Yeah.
Let me see that. Let's see where you at with it.
I'm at the top.
Oh, right here. Oh yeah, there it goes, right at the top.
It says.
Yeah, the reference concordance code. So you read that.
Yeah, lock.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then you see at the top how it says compare 1980.
Okay.
Right. So you want to? Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So what does that mean?
So it's basically saying that that either, and depending on what you're looking at, it'll either say that these mean the same thing, or this is what's commonly used. Like you ever see like, let me think. Let me see. So if you look up Joshua in the Bible, right, it'll say what's most commonly, it'll give you a reference for what's most commonly used, or like it'll say Jesus, right? Because we know that Joshua in Greek is, or Jesus in the Greek is Joshua, right? So it'll just direct you to, or it'll say see, like you ever read the dictionary and you'll look at a word and then it'll say see this word. Right. It's because those words they mean the same thing, but one is more commonly used, or depending on the situation. So if you ever see like a concordance code and you looking up that concordance code and it gives you a word and it compares it to another concordance code, is because you always want to go and check that concordance code also and see what that says. Okay. And then it's also while you're looking for that, it's also a great idea to have a bunch of different sources as well. Not a bunch. It's not that complicated, but just a couple different sources. So we got the concordance, the strong concordance with the dictionary we got the physical copy, and then you also got the digital copy. Then you also got the scriptures, right? So you got Bible Hub that we use to read from in Sabbath service, right? You also can download a strong King James Version Bible with a concordance. So if you have that, then you can, if you have that concordance, it's like the King James Version of the Bible with concordance. There's a little S in the corner that you could click on and toggle back and forth between. That S is for strong. So if you click on it, then behind each word it'll have a concordance code, and if you click on it again, those concordance codes will disappear. So it's good to have that resource and all of those resources to be able to compare, to see how it's not only used in a dictionary, but also how it's used in practical usage. So let me see. So they got.
Yeah, this one says halak.
Right.
That one says yala.
Right. So we got. Let me see if I got. 14, 17. Right. And this is why. So let's go to. Does it give you any scriptures? Let me see. I don't think it does in that one.
Not this.
Gives you any references, scriptures?
Not this one.
Okay, no sweat.
I don't know if the other one.
Oh, okay, but okay, in the beginning when you're looking up the word though, it'll say the scripture. So
They say Genesis.
yeah, Genesis 13 and 17. Right? Says, arise, walk through the land in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Right? So behind that word walk, it has the concordance code 19. Right? Let me put this up here. So you got walk, which is the root, which comes with concordance code 1980, I believe it is.
Yeah. 190.
And that'll say what we learned last week, which is halak. Right? So, you know what I'm saying? That's how you, and you excellent shit. Give yourself an answer. Like, it takes, like, sometimes you gotta, you know what I'm saying, just work through it. Just, you know what I'm saying, just look it up. You know what I'm saying? Just do a little research. And it was kind of slow because we're teaching also. But if you're just at home and you just like, how do you say this? You can just go right to it. If you know the steps, you know what I'm saying? You just go to it. Okay, in the beginning, you know how to use a dictionary. So I'm gonna go to this word. And then at the end, you go follow that concordance code and then read the dictionary. But it just takes a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, reading. But it's just something that you can do real quick, right? And then sometimes you got to go into the scriptures and see how it's being used in practical usage, right? So in this practical usage, right, it says arise, walk. This is, I think, pretty sure this is Abraham, right? Let me see. Yeah, Abraham, right? And the Lord is telling him to walk through the land because he's about to give him an inheritance, right? So he's saying, arise, walk. You look up that concordance code. Now we got halak. So now we got the word walk. How do we make it walking? All right. We just talked about it in the last example.
How it be what was it? Would it be how walk?
Let me see.
How walk?
Let me double check before you on the right page though. You on the right page. So it's either off the top, we know that you, and why are you saying how walak?
So you said like cause the walk go like after the first or the second character.
Right. So it could either be ha-walak or ha-lawak. Right. So it
can be either way.
It depends on, like, okay, not either way, but some words like okay, like learn is lamad, just for an example. Learning is la mawad. So that'll be after the second character. But in Shamar, it's after the first character. So it just depends. You know what I'm saying? Some words just, you know, you find it in a different spot. So we gonna find out though. And this is how you find out, right? So we got it's another resource that you might be able to use or look at, right? So let me see. But if you look at the concordance code, right? Or, you know what I'm saying, the same KJV Bible with concordance, right? So you just put walking into the joint and just see if you can see what that gives you, right? And just compare resources, right? But 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be halawak, because that's usually how it's formed with the wa, right? So halawak, right? So who, or it's like why are you walk? So we got halak being walk, halak being walk, and then you add the wa in this, right?
Halawak.
Right. Now we got, okay, so mata y, which is y, halawak, walking, bayatya, in my house.
Okay.
Right, so now we got to add you in there. Why are you walking into my house? Why is he walking into my house? And this, you was about to say something?
Oh, I was going to see how you said you.
Okay, no sweat. So what you would,
so you put the A at the end of halawak? No. Oh, shoot.
so you got ma, da, y. We'll leave a little space. Hala, walk. Hala, walk. And this might change depending on. I'm gonna show you two different ways to say this, right? And I'm gonna explain why. But just keep in mind, I might have to change this, all right? Because it's a.
I see it at the end.
Right. So mata hala wa, ba ya, right? So we got Matawai, Halawak, Baba Yathia. Why walking in my house, right? So you can either say, you know what I'm saying? You might see the suffix, right? Or not suffix, the possessive, right? So the possessive that comes at the end to say you or your, you will put what? K, right? So because this is a root word, right? You would pronounce this by itself. So you ask if you just add a at the end. No.
Because it's already a root. It's already a word.
Right. So halawak. And then you would add to that word, you would add the possessive. So you would
halawak.
Right.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, so that's how you would do that. Or so now you walking, right? Now it's you walking, or you might see this word. Yaka. right? So in this case, you got halawak ka, and at the end you'll see that different character. It's halawak ka. But if you add yaka, then there's no need to change this end part. You just madawa yaka halawak baba yafya.
Okay.
All right. So yaka just means you, right? But we went over this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We used the example. Or no, I believe it was last week. We used the. So you probably missed that too, but like for example, like.
No, I was here.
Oh, you was here? Almost time crazy. So like, if you're establishing like the subject of the conversation, you would use yaka, right? And then moving forward, you may see more of the prepositions and the possessives because now we know who we're talking about. Right. So like you know what I'm saying, just like English, you don't just jump into a conversation like, man, he was crazy, he was talking crazy, and man, I had to go and you'll say he stole my watch. Okay, who are you talking about? Who stole your watch? What did you talking about? And then you're like, okay, well, this brother Mikey stole my watch. And now you just established the subject. So now you're like, yeah, he stole my watch, and then I had to go and get it from him, and then like now you can say he, and now we know who you're talking about. But at first, when you're establishing the subject, you usually will see this yaka. Right. So it just depends on where we're at in the conversation and where you'll see that or whether you'll see this word or the possessive. But this is how we gonna, just build our vocabulary. Like using what we already know, right? Things we already know, so that we can expose to ourselves, okay, what don't I know? Like, I know how to say this, I know how to say this, I know how to say house, I know how to say why, but how do I say walking? How do I say walk? And then you just build from there. That's how you're going, once you realize what you don't know, what you don't understand, and what you don't, how you can't express yourself, you can go and find out. You can go and ask questions. You can go do a little digging. And then from there, from just curiosity and trying to build a little bit try to add a little bit to your belt, then that's how you're going to be able to add to your vocabulary. All right. So let me see. Let me see. Let me think. Slide. All right. Right. There you got. Who is the first son? All right, so we're going to start with what? We're going to start with what we already know. All right. So we already know You wanna give it a shot, please, before I go on? Or you?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
If I could, so I could. Okay, so is it Maya? It's like Maya, ha, Maya, no, oh, yeah, Maya, ha, Asha, ba, bun.
Okay,
I
so
forgot how you said first when it's not with the number.
okay, so all right, let me see how I can say this. Okay, so this is what you would do. To either go back into the Strongs if you don't have it in your notes from a past class.
Yes.
But if you go into the Strongs, it'll tell you, right? All right, so let me see. Let me go there with you.
I know it's close to Ayash, something like that, right? Because the first man.
Not quite. Not quite. All right, so so let's go to Leviticus. No. Well, this one's easy, right? So you got all right. So we're gonna come. I'm gonna let you go through that. All right, because you already so you went through who, the, and you said son is what?
Bun.
Right. So while you working through that, I'm gonna just write this up here, and then you just let me know when you found something. All right. So who we know is we know that who is Maya. We know the is ha. So whatever first means is going to have the preposition ha on it, because we know ha means the. So Maya ha, and then we know son is ban, right? Lashawan Qadash, we got Maya ha, such and such, right? And then ban. Right. Now, first, so usually, with numbers, right? With numbers, there's a little bit of, there's kind of a rule with it, right? So, with the exception of, a couple of numbers, right? You'll just add a ya between or in before and after the last character, right? So we might get into that in a little bit. So, for example, so I'm gonna use just I'm gonna just use this example. So instead of saying first, right? Let's say the question was who is the fourth son? All right, so you got fourth, right? So 4 is Rabbi, right? Now,
I mean, it's not Kai though, right?
Lie. It's a different. It's a complete stem change with Ra'ash.
That's what it is, Ra'ash.
Man, Salaki, I ain't even.
See, I knew I was close. I said okay, cause
Salaki,
it's Ra'ash, not Damn.
Well, here's the thing. Let's go to Genesis 1:1. Right. So you go to Genesis 1:1. You got Bible Hub, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to Bible Hub, read Genesis 1:1. Right. So like I ain't even mean to give you the answer. I was it just came out. But let me know when you get there. I'm gonna finish this point real quick and I'm gonna come back. All right. So fourth, right? So four, the number 4 is Arabai, right? So Arabai. To say fourth, you would just say isn't an exception, but fourth is instead of saying Arabai, it will be Rabbi, ya. So like your Rab Ya'aya. Ya. So the last character is an I. Al Rabbi. To say fourth, you would, in this case, remove the first character and then add Ya. So we got in the Lashawan Qadash, Rabbi. So like Al-Rabai. That's how you say 4 in the Lashawan Qadash. To make it fourth, you'll remove the first character. So instead of Al-Rabai, it will be Rab, Ya, Ya. All right. So that's the rule. Usually, you would just add the 2 Yas, but before and after the last character. That's the best way I can explain it to help you remember it. But that's usually what you'll see when you're talking about ordinal numbers, which is what we talked about it's been a while, you know what I'm saying? But that's usually what you'll see when you're talking about ordinal numbers. But you do have some exceptions, right? So we got back to the first. Did you find that?
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead, Priest. All right, so we know in the English, you wanna try to read it, or you want me to just walk you through it?
Yeah, you can walk it.
Okay, no sweat. So we know in the English, the first chapter and the first verse of the first chapter of the Bible is what? The first sentence. In the English.
In the beginning.
Right, in the beginning, right. So and that's gonna be the part that we're gonna check out real quick. Let me see. Hit my phone real quick. Acting crazy. All right. So in the beginning, right? So in the beginning is or in the first chapter, right? It says in the beginning, right? In the Hebrew, it'll say, is it 12? Let me see. In the Hebrew, or if you read it in Bible Hub, let me go to Bible Hub real quick. But if you read it in the Lashawan Qadash in Bible Hub, it'll say Ba, right? So the first character will be Ba, right? And then it'll say Ra'ash Yah, right? If you click on that concordance, if you look at, because you can do the same thing with Bible Hub. You know what I'm saying? Like once you see it'll give you a word, and then it'll give you the concordance code for the root word. So that's another tool that you can use to try to pick apart the Hebrew, right? So you click on that concordance code. Above it, it says 7 2, or you see the concordance code on top?
Yeah.
Right, and that's what? What's the concordance code?
7225.
All right, so you click on that, and it'll give you the definition, right? So what is it? What does it say?
So beginning in chief.
Right. So it says Ra'ashya, beginning chief, and then it says under that it'll say word origin, definition, and the different usage, the different usages, or where it's being used in the Bible, basically. So it says beginning 19 times, choice 2 times, choices, good night, 3 times, finest 2 times, first 16 times. Right, so first in the Lashawan Qadash, we just found out is what?
Ra'ash.
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 Ra'ash. Yah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So now the sentence is Maya ha ra ash Maya ha ra ash ya ban, or you might see it Maya ban ha ra ashya. Who is the son, or like, you know what I'm saying, if you see, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of languages, they'll do that. It'll be like, and we already know that every language stems from the Lashawan Qadash, right? So with the Lashawan Qadash being the mother language, you'll see in a lot of the other languages, like Spanish, for example, like if you're talking about, okay, what is the red car? It'll say, Colche Rojo. It'll say the subject, car, and then the description afterwards. So you might see in like when you're making a sentence, you'll see Maya ban hara asha. So it'll be, if you're reading it from an English perspective, it'll be who son the first. But you'll see Maya ban hara asha. Right. Or, okay, so if we change the, all right. We got ban ha ra ash. Yeah. Right. So who is the first son? Maya ban hara ashya, right? Now, if we want to say who is your first son, right? Who is your first son? Well, then now the sentence has changed, so we gotta add something, right? So we got, the sentence really don't change much, right? We just add a suffix. right? We add an or a possessive, which comes at the end of a word. So your son, right? What'd you say, Pre?
Ka.
And where would you put the ka?
At the end of bun.
Right. So you got bun ka. Maya bun ka ha ra'ashya. Ra'ashya. Maya bun ka ha ra'ashya. Who is your first son? Right. So it's really just that easy though. You know what I'm saying? We just take when you're building a sentence, you just take what you know, right? You take what you already know, like the subject of the word. You usually want to start with the subject of the word, all right? Because I've been using questions because just to put a little bit of put a bunch of different variables in there, like so we can use things that we already learned, right? But you just want to take what you already know, right? So it'll be the subject. So son will be, you'll take the nouns and the verbs, or you'll take the nouns, right, which is son, and the question word in this case. So we got who, we got the noun, the subject of the sentence, son or your son, and then now we're gonna add a description. What's the point? You know what I'm saying? What about it? You know what I'm saying? What about my first son? Or what about my son? Oh, my first son, okay. Right. And you might know maybe three, like for example, in this particular example, we knew one, three of the four words, right? So you take what you already know, and then what you don't know, you just go to the resources, just like you would do with a precept. You know what I'm saying? You might understand a portion of what you're reading, but then the parts that you don't understand, you know what I'm saying? You just call it, get a breakdown. You would go into the scriptures, right? Like, can I get a breakdown for this? Or if you understand a specific scripture, you would be like, okay, what would be a precept to pair with this scripture, right? And your camp leader, your captain, or whoever, they're gonna bring you to the scriptures and then give you something they're gonna bring you to the scriptures, and then just like we went to the concordance code, just like we went to the dictionary. You know what I'm saying? That's how you figure out something. That's how you learn, right? You ask questions, ask for the breakdown, you do a little research, on your own, and then you ask the question, you know what I'm saying? You bring it to you, you know what I'm saying? You ask the question, like, okay, would this be a precept? Like you see in scripture breakdown all the time. Like General Muhammad will be breaking down a particular scripture, and then a brother might come up and be like, okay, will this be a precept for the scripture? Right? You know, that's exactly how it is with the Lashawan Qadash. Like you find something that you don't know, you don't understand, and you go to the resource, right? You go to the resources and you do a little research, you do a little digging, and then you go to the scriptures and then see how that is being used, right? And that's if you follow those steps, your vocabulary as far as the Lashawan Qadash is going to be elevated, and then you're going to find yourself being able to form sentences, form conversation, and be able to, before we know it, we're gonna be able to communicate with one another, you know what I'm saying, in our native language. Well, if ain't no questions or comments, I don't see nothing in the chat. If there's no questions in the room, I'll go ahead and end it right there. Before we get up out of here, Gotta give a little homework. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on. Just take. Of course, you know what I'm saying. Try to form more sentences. You know what I'm saying? Just in your spare time while you by yourself. You got a little time to try to form sentences. Be curious. You know what I'm saying? Be curious about your culture, right? Like the Lord ain't gonna give us back a kingdom and a culture that we don't give a damn about, that we not looking for. You know what I'm saying? It says asking you shall receive, but if you're not asking, then you're not gonna receive. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get what you need out of class and out of, you know what I'm saying, out of the brotherhood, man. So keep on practicing, trying to form sentences, right? Like we've been doing for the past couple weeks. Put them in the chat. Next week, I would like to see more questions or not more sentences. You know what I'm saying, from the past homework. I would like to see more of that in the chat or in the room. You know what I'm saying, from sentences that we formed, and we could walk through that. But also at home while you practicing, try to use the resource. Try to practice using the resources also, because that's gonna take a whole lot of the mystery off of the Lashawan Qadash, right? Like a lot of people kind of like shy away from the Lashawan Qadash because it's like it's just a totally different language. But if you use the resources, then you understanding how to use the resources and navigate the resources, it's gonna take a lot of the mystery off of the Lashawan Qadash, right? So those are the only two things. Just to keep on practicing forming sentences with the notes that you have, the root words, the prepositions, possessive, who, what, when, where, why. You know what I'm saying? Things that we've already learned, ordinal numbers, regular, just regular numbers. All the things that we learned up until now, just try to practice it in practical usage, and then also practice using the resources. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? If there's no questions or comments, I'm going to say Shalom, Yahaba, Shem Yahshua, Brakathom, to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahshua, Shemalataba, Ba, Shem Yahshua, Shalom, Yahshua, Shemalataba, Shem Yahshua, to all the sisters. You good?